Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 13th, 2023 East Brunswick Township Council meeting. Will everyone please rise as we pledge allegiance to our nation and remain standing for a moment of personal reflection. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Township Clerk, will you please call roll and then read our statement of adequate notice?
Councilmember Hall. Here. Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Councilwoman Winston.
Here.
Councilwoman Zimbicki.
Here.
And Council President McAvoy.
Here.
Also present, Mayor Brad Cohen.
Here.
Administrator Joseph Cusculo.
Here.
And Township Attorney Anthony Iacoca.
Here.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Before we begin the formalness of this evening's meeting, I would like to recognize Boy Scouts Troop number 132. The troop is here to attend and begin the process of understanding civics and governance. We appreciate the fact that you're coming out this evening, and if it gets to be too long, you can surely excuse yourself. Right, Mayor Cohn? Would you like to say a few words just recognizing and greeting these fine youngsters?
Well, I think that they're the future, right? And that's one of the things that we benefit from learning what it is that's important to them and for them to get an opportunity to see how government works. We had that little meeting beforehand, but I certainly hope that if you do have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to reach out to any one of us. Government in this country is of the people, by the people, and for the people, right? So at the end of the day, the people that are here are your representatives. And so it's always important, as we spoke about citizenship earlier, that it's a two-way street. We need to know what's important to you, and because it helps us be able to function better as a representative government. And that's what we stand for in this country, and we certainly hope that we're earning your respect and are doing the job the way it was intended to be.
Thank you, Mayor Cohn. May I have a motion for Resolution 23-310, adopting our meeting minutes from October 23rd, 2023?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Is there a need for correction or clarification from these minutes? Seeing none, Township Clerk, please call roll on this matter.
Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Councilman Wendell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki.
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Why don't we take care of the proclamation proclamation proclaiming November as New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Month. And Councilwoman Zimbicki, will you take care of that?
Yes, thank you. Whereas the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs, of General Federation of Women's Clubs, organized on November 16th, 1894, and has continued to exist as one of the largest and oldest non-denominational service organizations of volunteer women in the state of New Jersey. And whereas members of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs, of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, throughout the 128-year history, have worked in their communities to assist activities such as the founding of the New Jersey College for Women, now Douglas College, preserving the Palisades, and supporting the establishment of community public libraries, and have provided grants and special funding for Special Olympics, UNICEF, Operation Smile, Autism, CASA, of New Jersey court-appointed special advocated for children and for the years of 2022-24 as a special state project, the Emmanuel Cancer Foundation, which provides New Jersey families facing pediatric cancer a place to turn for comfort and support by offering professional in-home counseling, material assistance, and emergency financial aid, all free of charge. And whereas the Women's Club of East Brunswick, a member of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, is celebrating 70 years of community service during the 23-24 club year to this community through support and donations for Arbor Day, Camp Daisy, the East Brunswick Public Library, scholarships at local high schools, the East Brunswick Museum, our local VFW, New Jersey Army National Guard, local families in need of programs sponsored through East Brunswick Recreation, the Ronald McDonald House, local domestic and homeless shelters, veterans and active servicemen, in addition to other local, state, and national charities. Wow. Right? Wow. Whereas New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club of the General Federation of Women's Club provides programming to enable women in the communities to have excellent resource materials to accomplish the goals through volunteer service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Brad Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim November as New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Month in recognition of the many, many hours of service to this community and others, and encourage all residents to support the Women's Club of East Brunswick. And be it further proclaimed that Civic Center Drive shall be renamed East Brunswick Women's Club for the week of November 17th through the 27th of 2023.
I just want to take a quick moment. I'm Linda, I'm the president of the East Brunswick Women's Club, and I'm here with Laura, and who's my second vice president, and Sharon, who's a member. We have a great honor of taking this proclamation, and I want to thank Mayor Cohen. I want to thank the councilmen and the councilwomen for this great honor. I'm not going to read it because Diane read almost everything that we do. So we just love working with the township, being in the township, and it's a great partnership. And we thank you again for being honored at the Mayor's Gala this year. And Laura's going to say a few words.
And I'll make it short and sweet. I just wanted to invite any women, both in East Brunswick and the surrounding communities, to attend our meeting. We meet once a month, the second Tuesday of each month, at 7:30 at the Knights of Columbus House at St. Bartholomew's Church at 470 Riders Lane. Our next meeting is tomorrow night, and will feature a special program, the Heart of New Jersey Chorus, which we're really excited about. And if anyone is interested in joining, they can reach out to us several different ways. We have our club website, which is eastbrunswickwomensclub.com. We're also on Facebook under Women's Club of East Brunswick, and we are on Instagram. And as well as if they would like to send an email, they can send it to the East Brunswick Women's Club at gmail.com. So I invite ladies of any age to feel free to check us out. Thank you very much again.
Can we get a photograph of everyone so that we can promote this on our Facebook
Thank
page?
you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Council, please.
It really is a great honor working with Mayor and putting everything out on the municipality.
Thank you.
Yeah, we weren't the original members, yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to a presentation for discussion. Township Clerk, will you please announce the public hearing regarding the ice skating rink?
Yes, our council president will open the floor shortly for a public hearing pertaining to the pre-qualification for prospective bidders for the construction of the municipal ice skating facility in the township of East Brunswick.
And Mr. Iacocca, our attorney, could you give clarification to this issue, please?
Sure. Thank you, Council President. The township wishes to pre-qualify bidders in connection with the construction of a municipal ice facility because the project is of a highly specialized nature. The local public contracts law has set forth a procedure for the pre-qualifications of bidders in NJSA 40A:11-25. The law basically requires that the municipality wishing to pre-qualify bidders must adopt pre-qualification regulations after first conducting a public hearing on the issue. The township has prepared pre-qualification regulations which are attached to proposed resolution number 23-312, which is on the agenda. Specifically, the pre-qualification regulations require as follows. The township has established the pre-qualifications for the general contractor, the GC, to be that the GC's subcontractor and ice rink, concrete, and ice rink engineer subcontractors performing the ice-related work have at least 3 indoor ice rink projects per calendar year on average in 2021, 22, and 23 as experience. So without any other questions, Council President, you could open this up to the public for comments or questions.
Thank you, Mr. Iacocca. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address the Council President on this issue and this issue only? And seeing them, we'll close the public portion. And let's move on to, well, we do not have any ordinances for second reading. Our reports. Mayor Cohn? I beg your pardon.
Can we speak on this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Wendell, I did not see you. Please.
How was the number of 3 in the past 3 years established, and who established that number of 3 each year?
Okay.
It was based on discussions with the township's professionals and the ice rink consultants for this project.
I think it's too limiting. I think 3 a year over the past 3 years, it's too limiting, especially coming out of COVID and everything else. I think we're limiting ourselves to, I mean, don't get me wrong, we want a qualified person, in my mind, that has done ice rinks before. But if we're limiting ourselves to someone who's done 9 rinks over the past 3 years, I think, you know, it's too tight a scope.
Too restrictive.
Yes.
Mayor Cohn, you want to just clarify a little bit?
We've researched this and spoken to not only our ice skating consultant, but with many of the people in the industry who are considered experts. And that was, their actual recommendation was 5 rinks a year for 5 years as a limitation. The reason that we're doing that is because there are many people out there who claim to have experience in this, and in instances, many of which are very local to where we live. Clearly, the most important part of building an ice rink is the ice. You know, the ice, the refrigeration, the system, that's the critical piece. And there are, from our experts, from our own planning and engineering professionals, and research that we've done, only a handful of the people in this country that have done that many. And it was their recommendation, the recommendation of our own independent consultant and our own engineers, that would be able to be a number that could reasonably be able to eliminate the people who have done very little and would put us in a risk of not having it done in a manner that is professional and long-lasting, and yet still allows us to be able to pick from the 4 or 5 that are out there in this country that really have done that many. It was their
I don't
suggestion.
agree with that, because I just feel that we're limiting ourselves to too narrow a group of bidders. You know, don't get me wrong, I understand what you're saying, but like you said, you're talking about 4 or 5 people in the country that can do this ice now.
I didn't say that can do it, that do it
Well, that
professionally.
do it and will meet this qualification.
Right. It's more important, I believe, and I think our engineers all agree, that the most important aspect of that rink be done by people who are extraordinarily experienced in doing it. And this is an attempt to make sure that we make sure that those that have do them once in a while and don't have that expertise don't bid. Because as you know, in local public contracting, the township is required to take the lowest responsible bidder. And that often is not the most responsible. It's the lowest, but it's not always the most responsible. And in particular, Woodbridge, which is, you know, another public skating rink, made that mistake a couple of years ago and had to completely redo their ice. So we do not want to make that mistake.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll get to talk about this again when the bids come in. And
Okay.
if we're, you know, if we're comfortable with the pricing and all of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a subcontractor that we're talking about of the general
That's
contractor.
the only part we're
Yeah.
concerned about.
Right.
Who does
I
the
agree with you.
plumbing and the electric is less of an issue. It's
Yeah.
the most important feature of.
Refrigeration and the concrete under the ice.
Right, it's very highly
You know,
specialized.
just being in the business, limiting us to such a narrow pool concerns me. You know, I've never built an ice rink before, so I'm not going to, you know, go outside of my bounds, Mr. Mayor, and I appreciate the.
No, we wouldn't have come
appreciate
up with that
the-
number if we didn't go
Yeah.
out and actually look at the number of rinks that the most qualified people
Our
tend to build.
consultant that we've hired is not a potential bidder, correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
the discussion.
Councilman Wendell, everything that was said from both sides is noteworthy, and I'm just going to throw onto the fire, and I think you know this well. If it's not done correctly, and the word gets out, and we become the laughing stock, then the whole investment goes down the drain, and we're really moving slowly and carefully, crossing all the Ts and dotting all the Is as we prepare for this big arena in our town.
If it's not done correctly by a responsible party that's experienced, we could run into operational issues, we could run into operational expenses, we could run into, you know, repair expenses and all of that, that will surely diminish our income, and that's not what we're looking for. So I appreciate the explanation, Mr.
Right,
Mayor.
and we also, in many instances, end up costing you more in the end than if you, right? If you're building something in your own house, you know, we would never do it that way, because we analyze and don't always, or don't necessarily pick the lowest. We have the ability to use our judgment, but local public bidding law doesn't allow you to use judgment. You have to take the lowest responsible bidder. And you often don't find out that they're not responsible until they've screwed up everybody else's work. So,
So again, there are no new ordinance for a second reading at this time, so let's move on to our reports section. Mayor Cohn.
I really, shocking, don't have much to report. Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday, not the least of which is my birthday, so tends to add to it, but have a wonderful, happy, and healthy holiday.
Mr. Criscuolo, our
No-
business
Nothing
administrator.
to report.
Township Attorney, Mr. Iacocca.
Nothing to report, Council President.
And our Township Clerk, Ms. Lawful.
I have nothing to report.
Our council members and any committee reports or board reports?
Well, let me break this on.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes, thank you. So reporting for Parks and Rec, there's lots going on. First of all, some of the accomplishments, I want to start with that. The Community Art Center expansion, that we're continuing with looking at design ideas with that. Heavenly Farms Turf C, the project is fully completed, along with the scoreboards at Heavenly Farms and the bleachers. Bicentennial Park basketball courts is now fully completed. The cricket fields, bids are coming out soon. The playground at Sadowski Park is fully completed. The playground at Washington Heights Park, a grant was received to upgrade the playground, so that's something that we'll continue to be working on. Youth Council, support Youth Council. It's selling merchandise. So if you're interested in that, that merchandise will be available at the Winter Wonderland, which is coming up on December 5th, and it's an all-day event this year from 11:30, December 3rd. It's an all-day event from 11:30 until 6. There'll be lots of vendors, lots of great activities. There's a s'more station for the kids to come get their s'mores. There's a couple opportunities to have cookies with claws, so it's a great event. And since we're talking about the Youth Council, I know, President McAvoy, you had the chance to go for their grand opening, and I toured it actually today, and it is amazing, and that was a grant from Lowe's. And when I walked in there, it was such a welcoming, warm place for our youth. It's fresh, it's bright, it's beautiful. The outdoor area is absolutely gorgeous. So it is a real tribute that we focus on making sure that there's a warm, comfortable, inviting place for our youth, and how awesome that we had that grant from Lowe's to help with that. So excellent. The ACA accreditation for the day camp program and Daisy Rec program surpassed over 300 standards of excellence. Very, very few municipal day camp programs can carry this accreditation in our region. So another huge accolade to our Parks and Recreation group. The Veterans Day observance was held on Saturday. It was a very lovely event where we got to honor our veterans, and we had many of our scouts present at that helped us with that honoring, so thank you. A very exciting thing that's happening, commander of Post 133, the Veterans Post 133 here in East Brunswick, has arranged for the traveling Veterans Wall to come to East Brunswick, and it's going to be coming the Wednesday before Memorial Day weekend and through Memorial Day, and it will be up at the Community Art Center. So it's a replica of the wall, and one of the requirements, and I think the Scouts are going to get involved with this, it has to be protected the entire time it's here. So we will have our veterans, and I believe some of our Scouts, that will be sleeping out protecting the monument. And we're also working on having our Vietnam class at the high school that will be coming and doing some studying there for the day. And that will be offered through a grant through the East Brunswick Education Association's Pride in Public Education Committee. Holiday give back, we are accepting gift cards and a food drive, and all of that will go to Aldersgate Outreach Center, so please consider if you're fortunate to donate that. The Halloween Family Fun Fest, despite the rain, was a great success. The kids had a great opportunity doing the haunted walk around the Dallenbach's Lake, the trunk or treat, and art in the art spot. The East Brunswick Pickleball Club is having their first meeting coming up on December 6th at 6:30 at the Community Art Center. And our sixth grade science classes visited Dallenbach's trail system, and they enjoyed all the experiences of learning and doing research in our ecosystem. A tree planting is upcoming with 100 trees. Conover Nursery's Development Shade Tree Division will be planting 100 trees this fall as we continue to combat the emerald ash borer affected trees. November 19th, the EB Bear Crawl is happening. It's sponsored by the East Brunswick Education Foundation, and so we hope that you'll be able to come join us for that. And one last, a pickleball fundraiser was held for Veterans Day this past week, and they ended up raising around $700. And half of that went to the veterans, and the other half is going to the Youth Council. So I think we have lots of great successes in East Brunswick Parks and Rec. It's so much to be proud of. And thank you to our Scots again, because some of these things you have been involved in or will be involved in.
Thank you, Councilwoman Zambicki. That's a comprehensive list of a lot of good things that are going on in town for everyone, including the youth. Why don't we move on to our public portion, and Township Clerk, will you please read our public comment statement?
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond, not respond, or ask the administration to respond.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public wishing to address the council president? Please.
Kevin Sexton, 10 Coleman Road.
What's the address, Mr. Sexton?
10 Coleman.
Coleman. Thank you.
So, and this is, maybe this is a little bit of a learning experience, if you don't mind. I've tried to find out a little bit more information. It was about an item I saw on the agenda regarding the plot on Cranberry Road.
The redevelopment ordinance that we'll be dealing with later.
And I talked to Ms., so that comes up, you're going to talk about that later tonight, the first reading.
Yes, we
I
are.
understand. So this is.
Whether you talk now or you talk later, it doesn't matter.
I'll talk now.
Yeah.
I'm already here. I hope to have more to say concerning this on this specific issue at the next council meeting. I do want to speak on my concern over the continued loss of open space within the township. My family, like many others, moved to the township in the early 1950s, attracted by the town's rural character. Early advertisements attracting new residents to the town highlighted that East Brunswick had offerings for everyone, both city dwellers and farmers alike. However, in recent years, our farms and our woods have seemingly continued to shrink. While I understand that East Brunswick remains an attractive destination for new residents and we face housing challenges, I believe it is our responsibility to make efforts to maintain the rural heritage of this town, county, and state. I'm appreciative of the efforts that this township has made in preserving open space. However, I believe there is always more that can and should be done. This specific lot is contiguous to already preserved land and sits just north of farmland. If there is any acreage in town that would make a perfect addition to preserved public land, it would be this plot. Towns across our region are moving forward with redevelopment plans that are strikingly similar to ours. As these towns within close proximity to each other build mixed-use retail and residential spaces, there will be nothing to make them unique, and therefore, in my opinion, as time goes on, the novel of these redevelopment projects will wear away, and the beneficial economic impact we hope to see might not last forever. What makes our town unique is our farms and our woods, traits that many of the surrounding towns have already given up on. We should not give up on ours. As we move forward with redevelopment projects, I would hope the council and the town does so with the preservation of open space as a top priority. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else who would like to address Council President? Please.
Hi, Tom Ingrasani, Council. With the elimination of the windmill farm in Jersey, our taxes have been paying towards that. Now, are we going to get reimbursed somehow, or the township gets reimbursed for the money we put out to that? Because that's been taxes being taken out from the taxpayers for that. That's eliminated, so just like to know what's going to happen with those taxpayer dollars. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else wishing to address the Council President? We'll close the public portion. And can I get a motion for Resolution 23-311?
Move to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Township Clerk, will you please read?
And this is roll call? Or do you-
No, I'm just going to ask you to read the
Oh, okay.
introduction.
So it's the Resolution 23-311, resolution authorizing budget transfers in accordance with NJSA 40A:4-58.
Thank you. Mayor Cohen, would you clarify this one?
Certainly, as most people on the dais know, and for those in the public, each year we put a budget together, and they have lots of different categories that we allocate funds for, and as we get closer to the end of the year, it becomes obvious that there's some areas where we have spent not as much as we had anticipated, and so there's funds that are left over where we would anticipate that if we get to the end of the year, there may be money left over. And then on the flip side, there's areas where we used money faster than we thought, or where expenses came in that we could not have anticipated. So almost every time we reach this part of the year, we'll adjust some of those budgets so that areas where there's extra money flows to areas where there may be an extra need, so that there's no reason to go out to the public or to change the budget. So these are just transfers allowing us to continue to the end of the year funding areas that may need it in areas that there's extra.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any comments from council? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Resolution 23-312, Council, Township Clerk, would you please read?
Resolution of the Township of East Brunswick adopting pre-qualification regulations for the construction of the municipal ice skating facility.
Mayor Cohen, anything to add from what was already said earlier?
Not really. No.
Mr. Iacocca, anything that was said?
Nothing to add, Council President.
Can I get a motion? I don't think I did that.
Motion to adopt.
And a second?
Second.
Any clarification or discussion from council? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Moving on, we'll look at our consent agenda. Are there any resolutions that need to be separated for further clarification? Seeing none, can I have a motion for resolutions 23-313 through 23-324?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion on anything in particular? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. We have a series of ordinances for introduction. We're going to do them one at a time. Township Clerk, Ordinance 23-28.
A bond ordinance for various capital improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $4,235,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,023,250 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion for that?
Move to adopt.
Second?
Second.
I'll open this up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on ordinance 23-28? No. Oh, I beg your pardon. Take that back. Resolution 23-29. Oh, I beg your pardon again. I roll call on 23-28.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Wouldn't be a meeting if I didn't make some mistakes. Ordinance 23-29. Township Clerk?
An ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for Block 87, Lot 10.07, also known as 509 Cranberry Road, as shown on the tax map of the Township of East Brunswick, pursuant to the Local Redevelopment and Housing Law, NJSA 40A:12A-1.
Motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion from council? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Abstain?
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Resolution 23-30. Township Clerk, please read.
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick amending Ordinance number 22-21, fixing the grades, classification and grades, and compensation of employees of the Township of East Brunswick, covering the United Services Workers Union, Local 255.
Motion adopt.
Second?
Second.
At this point, let me call on our attorney, Mr. Iacocca, because we have a number of grades, clarification, compensations that run all the way down to 23-34. Just some general comments?
Sure. Thank you, Council President. This is a routine item that townships in New Jersey usually do year by year. The purpose of this salary ordinance and the others to follow is to make sure that the township positions, the compensation for township positions reflect the compensations that are contained in the various collective bargaining agreements. So these ordinances, are simply just to update the salary positions across the board so that in 2024, they're within the salary caps.
Thank you, Mr. Iacocca. We have a motion and a second on 23-30. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes, ordinance 23-31. Motion,
Motion adopt.
second.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay. Do you want me to do the title?
Oh, I beg your pardon, please.
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, amending ordinance 22-22, fixing the grades, classifications, and grades, and compensation of employees of the Township of East Brunswick, covering the Professional Managers Association, PMA, executive staff, and confidential employees.
So we have the motion, we have the second, right?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes, and then you'll notice that ordinances 23, 32 through 36 are all reflective in salary increases or salary adjustments. Ordinance 23-32, please read.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 22-23, fixing compensation for temporary, part-time, and seasonal employees.
Motion, please.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Abstain.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes, bear with us, please. Ordinance 23-33, Township Clerk, please.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 21-21, establishing the salary compensation for the East Brunswick School Crossing Guards Association.
Motion,
So moved.
second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Ordinance 23-34, Township Clerk, please.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 21-30, fixing the salary classification for members of the Superior Officers Association, SOA 145A of the Township of East Brunswick.
Got a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes.
Two more to go.
35. 35 or 36?
35.
35. Ordinance 23-35, Township Clerk, please read.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 21-29, fixing the salary classification for members of the Policemen's Benevolent Association, Local 145 of the Township of East Brunswick.
Motion?
Motion
moved.
adopt.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Ordinance 23-36, Township Clerk.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 21-37, establishing compensation and salaries for East Brunswick Special Police Association in accordance with contractual provisions.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zembighi?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. There are no add-on resolutions, no unfinished business and/or new business. For the good of the cause,
If I may, Counsel?
please. Councilman Wendell.
I'd just like to recognize the St. Bart's Buffaloes and their 10U cheerleaders for advancing to the national championships in Florida. This past weekend, they came in third in the regional competition, and as such, they advanced to Florida and will be competing for a national championship. I'd also like to recognize the 14U team for their success in the regional championships, but they will not be advancing to Florida. But I think it's a great opportunity when East Brunswick, you know, any organization, any athlete in East Brunswick gets to participate at that high level. So I'd just like to recognize them.
Thank you, Councilman Wendell. Anything else? Mr. Criscuolo.
Yes, once again, weekly or bi-monthly advertising. If you haven't gotten your water meter changed, please arrange for that to occur. Thank you.
You're welcome. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to add.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to commend Mr. Criscuolo and the mayor's office for getting the light situation, the traffic light situation at Hardenberg and Fresh Ponds in the hopper and ready to go. It's a long time, residents on the west side of East Brunswick have been waiting a long time for this, and I'm sure they'll be very happy to hear that we're moving forward.
Yeah, we did the first reading on the bond ordinance. That bond ordinance includes our pavement management program for 2024, including New Brunswick Ave, which we're going to get about $440,000 from the state TTF. And it also includes the design, engineering, and installation of the traffic signal at that location. Councilwoman, thank you for bringing that up and your kind words.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second. All those in favor signify with saying aye. The ayes have it. Good night.